Do you really want me to talk to them about this? But this is a super advanced concept. Besides, it's not just for flirting, it's for everything. But man, okay, some are super guinea pigs, but I don't know if they'll get it. Well, nothing. Hello. I am going to talk to you about the law of diminishing returns. Put in a very simple way, what the law of diminishing returns refers to is the fact that adding something that has been the best option, or the best until that moment, ceases to be so good, or at least it stops being the best option, meaning that there is a better alternative. I repeat, until that moment, adding an element to an activity in an area of your life, in an aspect of your existence, whatever you like, until that moment, adding that element was the most necessary, it was optimal, it was what contributed the most to you, it was what brought you closest to excellence. But from that point, from the moment you cross the line of diminishing returns, it stops being the best option. It may even become counterproductive. I'll give you an example. I am Valencian, and we Valencians really like to eat paella. How do you know paella has rice? If you, for example, want to learn how to make paella, then they will tell you that you have to add a lot of rice to the paella. If you are a novice, you will think, well, how cool, the more rice I put in the paella, the better. But there comes a moment when you reach the line of diminishing returns. From that moment on, adding more rice does not bring you closer to the best possible paella, it starts to take you away from it. From that moment, it's better to add other ingredients like rabbit, chicken, lima beans, green beans, and so on. Yeah, this applies to any aspect of your life. For example, health. Imagine that you are obsessed with achieving extreme health. You want to live 240 years, and you wonder what is the best way to take care of your health. Let's suppose that, for example, something very important is taking care of the ingredients in your food. So you become obsessed with that. You become obsessed with eating foods that only have natural ingredients, that foods of biological origin, that are not genetically modified. You really begin to carry out an arduous task. Well, in this too, there will come a time when, if your life does not make it easy for you to eat this kind of food, you will reach a point where obsessing too much can even lead to having less health, in terms of health, if you cross that line. Why? Because it can cause too much stress, take away time for other activities. It can make you, perhaps, you don't have time to develop professionally or emotionally, and therefore it ends up affecting you negatively, taking away your sleep. That they lose sleep, your hormone regulation is affected, or your finances suffer because you dedicate too much time. And then, with your finances affected, you cannot allocate the same resources to buy those foods that are generally more expensive, etc. Get it? This applies absolutely to everything. And of course, it also applies when it comes to dating and attracting the people you like into your life. For example, many people see me as a kind of seduction scientist, which is quite true, but they see me as if my life were nothing more, as if it were only about being obsessed with flirting, and that is absolutely false. In fact, if I did, there would come a moment when I would probably even attract less. Why? Because I would cross the line of diminishing returns. If you notice, in my case, I also have other things. I have other channels. I have a channel dedicated to optimal health, Body G. I have another channel dedicated to the psychology of success. I am writing a book about that. So my life is not just about hooking up. I do many things. I am running a project. I direct short films. I make videos. I write scripts. I write books. My identity is probably 80% things that have nothing to do with dating. Why? Well, partly because I want to be happy, partly because I like it, but also partly because even if my only goal in life were to date more, if I focus too much on dating, I would be crossing the line of diminishing returns. For example, let's say I managed to rank from 1 to 10 in within my range of possibilities. Well, I managed to seduce a 9 out of 10. In how well I do it, that when I approach a stranger, I managed to do it a 9 out of 10 well. Well, from that point, probably, if I keep trying to get better at Sajja, I'll probably reach a 9.1, a 9.2, a 9.5. My goal would be to reach 10 within my abilities. But what is the problem? The problem is that if I keep dedicating resources, time, energy, money from my life to that front, I will neglect other fronts that will probably have a more synergistic effect on the outcome of flirting. So even if I improve that skill further, from a certain point, I'm not interested. From a certain point, I'm more interested in dedicating myself to other aspects of my life, even from the point of view of dating. And this applies to everything. Unless you are a competitive athlete, you probably are not interested either. Because I have many friends who literally kill themselves doing marathons and doing things that I personally believe that crosses completely over the line of diminishing returns, because neither are they professionals, nor do they want to dedicate themselves to it. So from that point, dedicate yourself to something as if you wanted to be a professional when you really have no intention of being one. Dedicating yourself to something as if you were going to compete in it is probably not as smart as developing other areas of your life due to the simple law of diminishing returns. I hope that was clear to you. I hope you are a good guinea pig. And keep in mind from now on, the law of diminishing returns, a big hug, and have you seen this video on the channel? Desnudo en la azotea, Mario Luna's personal lab. The videos that appear here are just reflections or hot takes, often recorded in one go. Many of them will end up being distributed according to their theme on my main channels. If you don't want to be bothered with a constant barrage of videos, unsubscribe from this channel and subscribe to Mario Luna, Scientific Seduction to Become an Expert in the Science of Love and Attraction, G-Body. If you want to achieve a winning body, overflowing with health, beauty, and energy, psychology of success, that will make you tune into the winning frequency. If despite everything you decide to stay, thank you for being part of this experiment. Guinea pig.